hopes, my dreams come true. My life I'd give for you. My heart, a wedding ring. My all, my everything.
Harold Lloyd Jenkins. You and I know him as Conway Twitty, one of the most prolific hit makers in all of country music history, having the most number ones only surpassed by the great George Strait. This is his song, It's Only Make Believe, and we're going to listen to it just right this very minute. Here we go. What more can I say about Conway Twitty? You and I know his music. This is a great song by him. And yes, that's a trivia question that I learned years ago and I've never been able to forget. I think Conway Twitty had around 55 number one hits on the Billboard country charts. Like I said, only broken by George Strait. It may not be on the Billboard country charts. It may be across all the country charts. I forget how they count it. But anyway, only George Strait has more number ones. So let's go take a listen to this song. But before we do, if you don't mind, will you like and subscribe? I'd greatly appreciate that. Also, like I said, hit that subscribe button. That helps out tremendously. And right now, let's go listen to Conway Twitty.
But myself I can't deceive. I know it's only make-believe.
The young Conway Twitty.
My one and only prayer is that someday you'll care.
Is that Elvis I'm hearing?
My dreams come true.
It's got a lot of influence in it that way.
Only you, no one will ever know how much I love you so. My only prayer will be someday you'll care for me, but it's all.
Woo! Ha ha! I'm going crazy. Y'all, we're listening to country music history. This is a young Conway Twitty, and he's going crazy. Now, this had to be a pop crossover hit, right? I think I read that, and the music illustrates that with the way they do up the backup singers. And it's very 1950s pop. But my goodness, isn't it amazing that we can go and listen to Conway Twitty back in, when was this? Sometime in the 50s? Good grief.
My dreams come true. My life I'd give for you. My heart, a wedding ring. My all, my everything. My heart I can't control. You rule my very soul.
He's about to go.
My only prayer will be someday.
Here we go.
Is that someday you'll care. My hopes, my dreams come true.
The 1950s were so cool. I know I didn't live in the 1950s, and you can look back and you didn't have, a lot of people didn't have plumbing, a lot of people didn't have electricity, was that the Cold War, and you know, all this kind of difficulties that we just don't see today looking back, they were ever present there too. But the 1950s, to me, is just such a cool decade in music, in movies. It's when technology was growing. It was like second generation. Like the radio, television came out in the 20s. I know radio did, television not long after. Of course, television was being widely adopted in the 50s and so forth. But just a tremendous, massive jump in movies, technology, money. People could spend money after World War II. America was the superpower of the world at this point. The 1950s is a really, really cool decade.
My one and only you, no one will ever know how much I love you so. My prayers, my hopes, and my schemes, you are my every dream, but it's only
That's all. Okay, that must be all. How about about that? Isn't that great? That's just amazing. I say it's amazing we can go back and watch country music history as it was being made back then. Now, y'all might get on to me about the 1950s. My dad was born in the 50s, and I remember him talking about how they did the, in schools, they practiced getting under their desks for nuclear attacks and things like that. And my father-in-law was born in the 50s, and he said he didn't get plumbing out in some part of Missouri that he grew up in until it was the late 50s, I think. He remembers not having running water in his house, using the outhouse. So I'm not saying I want to go back to that, but I'm saying the 1950s is so cool. It might be one of the coolest decades. Just a cool decade. Love it. All right, so let's see what was his name? Harold Lloyd Jenkins, better known as Conway Twitty. Of course, he's a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame. Many awards for his duets with Loretta Lynn. Achieved stardom with hit songs like Hello Darling, You've Never Been This Far Before, Linda on My Mind. Now here we go. He topped the Billboard Hot Country charts 40 times in his career and topped the Billboard Pop charts once with It's Only Make Believe. All right. He had 55 number one hits, a record that stood for 20 years until it was broken by George Strait. He wrote 11 of his Billboard Country number one hits. And so that's kind of what I was getting at in the intro. No matter how you count it, George Strait has more number ones, but you'll hear people say George Strait has 60 number ones. I think the Billboard, what did they say, only recognized 44 of them. Like I said, I'd have to get back and learn how they counted things, different charts added up different ways and so forth. But I usually go by Billboard just because that seems to be the standard. And that's what Wikipedia holds true. Every time I go look at somebody's discography, it's showing the Billboard number one hits or the Billboard list. Did y'all enjoy that? Now that's way back. Of course, y'all know Conway Twitty. So y'all aren't terribly unfamiliar with him, but that was a long time ago. Did it say 1958? Oh, I was going to look at that. Only Make Believe. He has his own discography page, which when you have that, you know you've had a lot of hits when they give you an entire page just for your music. It's Only Make Believe. It's Only Make Believe. Where am I at here? There we go. Yep, 1958. Number one, his first number one and only number one hit on country and pop charts. Cool. Well, this video has probably gone way too long, but we'll have more Conway Twitty coming up here before long. If you're still here, since you're still here, would you mind, go ahead and like and subscribe. That helps these videos tremendously. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to take a look at Patreon, you can find that link in the video description below. Thanks for stopping by. I don't say that enough. Thanks for watching these videos and learning and revisiting the memories of country music. Take care.